what we expect in terms of how the climate will vary, mainly temperature and precipitation, and then how significant fire potential will vary on top of that.
We're still a few months out from wildfire season, but fire officials across the Northwest are preparing now. They just released a new outlook this week looking at trends and conditions for the months ahead.
K2's Allison Gottlieb is at the live desk right now. And Allison, this latest outlook is for spring and early summer?
That's right. This outlook is from now until June, and the NWCC looks at the trends in the Pacific Northwest that are not considered normal conditions and can pose a threat for fire weather.
First few days of each month, we publish an update to our fire climate and fire potential outlook for mainly focused on Oregon and Washington out for the next several months.
This month's outlook ranges from March to June. June being one of the months we start to see heat waves and fire conditions worsen.
We're mainly interested in this center in fires that become large enough and costly enough to outstrip the local resources and require costly movement of firefighting resources from outside the local area.
John Saltenberger, who has been working at the NWCC for 40 years, says they look at precipitation, temperature, drought, and other variables when making these outlooks. The U.S. Drought Monitor shows the western United States has better drought conditions than back in October of last year. Most of Oregon's basins are above average. I asked about fire weather conditions after analyzing the data.
So for April, May, the rest of March, April, May, and June, we just don't see anything unusual in the Pacific Northwest that would cause us to be alarmed at excess potential for large costed fires, at least through the end of June. It may be a different story as we get into our next outlook, which will look at July.
He notes that the Climate Prediction Center is indicating that much of the western United States is looking at another hot and dry summer, which is something to watch out for as it could shape fire season. K2 will be on your side, bringing you the latest as we get closer to fire season, and we'll talk to the NWCC at the beginning of April to find out how the outlook is looking for July. At the live desk, Allison Gottlieb, K2 News.
All right, Allison, thank you. Also today, Pacific Power gave an update on what it's doing to prepare for wildfire season. That includes pruning thousands of trees and clearing areas around power poles. They say they inspected more than 116,000 transmission facilities, also rebuilt 83 miles of overhead lines and replaced more than 9,000 fuses. This all comes as the utility recently settled a $178 million settlement with more than 400 people for the 2020 Labor Day fires. That's just one of several lawsuits and trials involving the company after 2020. In addition to today's online forum, Pacific Power will also be hosting several in-person community forums this spring for towns in the Gorge, Central Oregon, and the coast. We have a link on our website, KATU.com, with more information.